he's definitely taking you lightly in this fight, believes he can beat you at 60%. Is that mind games? Is that...
I could not really care less, to be honest with you. If he thinks he can beat me at 60%, that's his problem. Has nothing to do with me. I'm prepared for him like I prepared for everyone else. And I'm going there, and if I see a slight opening, I'll take him out. I'm gonna go for it. You know, he needs quality sparring. That's what he needs. He needs to focus. He needs to stop worrying about everything else. You know, while I'm up at 2, 3 in the morning training, while he's probably still out playing poker. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm hungry. You know, and I'm ready for this. It's he though.
I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock. I love you. Angela Stone, I fertilize a brick. That's bad. So me, I make medicine sick. Fast. Last night I cut the light off my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you, I know you got him. I know you got him, Dick. But the man can cover. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to BodyWorkBoxing. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWorkBoxing. And today I want to talk about Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. And at first, man, when I first saw this fight and even the thought of this fight, I was like, oh man, Eddie, you know, he up to his old tricks again. You know, I was one of the main ones saying that this was a Triple G versus Kell Brook when Kell Brook, you know, was doing this thing at the 147 division, and he actually helped out Eddie Hearn, went up and took a fight with Triple G at middleweight, and he had no business moving up to do that. But he gave Triple G a run for his money, but he wound up getting his orbital bone broke. At first I was like, man, this thing got disaster written all over it. Here go Eddie with this circus act again. You know, this big guy picking on this little guy, because Conor Benn is he's a burgeoning prospect at 47. He's still, you know, cutting his teeth. Now, he cut his teeth on some names like Formella. He had Chris Algieri, I think Granados, Vargas. He's been cutting his teeth. You know, he was looking for somebody like a Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia. You know, even recently, he was actually saying, yeah, he wants some smoke with Boots. You know, so I'm like, this guy's at 47. He's going up to fight Eubanks at middleweight. And Eubanks is 5'11". You know, they got Conor Benn listed at 5'8". They don't have a reach for Conor Benn, but they got Eubanks at 72.5-inch reach. You know, there is a 7-year age difference between the two. So Conor Benn is the younger guy. You know, and it was just real funny, you know, listening to the interview when they was going back and forth, and I'm like, man, are they trying to pull you in? Like, mainly is Chris Eubanks, is he really trying to pull you in? Because he was talking some cash money. You know what I'm saying? He was talking that smack. You know, he was saying, you know, I was like, man, this gamesmanship. He was saying he only got to come in at 60%. Conor Benn was like, what do you mean? What do you mean coming in at 60%? Here you go. You creating excuses. And, you know, Chris Eubanks was saying this is going to be a public execution if I came at 100%. He's basically saying, I don't have to train. I normally train killers. I don't have to train killers. He basically said, I'm going to show up and walk through Conor Benn. When they asked him if it was personal, he said, no, not in particular. He said it's more of a thing about the family name and basically him getting to get back from the mental things that Nigel Benn put his father, Chris Eubank, through back in the day. So this fight really had the makings of something great, you know, as far as the family name and, you know, for it being a fight, you know, overseas over there, you know, it's big over there in their territory. It might not be that big here, but the storyline behind it is actually getting kind of thick, and it's very interesting because if you watching boxing and you pay attention and you're hardcore, you know who both of these gentlemen are. Now, on Chris Eubank's side, I was thinking, man, look, we seen you against Korobov. You know, when the shoulder popped out or whatever, you get the TKO from that. You know, we see, I mean, I think he lost to Groves. I think that was his loss, but he's been shaking it up with some people. I think he got an Abney Yildirim. But we was looking, me personally, I was looking for a Charlo or even a Benavidez or something. You know, one of these guys, one of these bigger guys. And so with the mindset, he's basically saying he's going to be, even though their father's not showing up, he's going to be Conor Benn's father. He's going to take him to school. He's going to sit him down. He's going to put him, I mean, he was talking cash money shit. And Conor Benn, like, here you go with these excuses. And I think Conor Benn is kind of in Eubank's head, but I kept thinking, is this gamesmanship? Is this gamesmanship? Because on paper, it looks like Conor Benn is daring to be great. And I was gonna say, man, this is a lopsided fight. I was like, man, I wouldn't even want to watch Conor Benn get done the way Eubanks would do him, just from size alone, and just, you know, they got weight classes for a reason to a certain extent, but the height is, you know, 3-inch height difference. We're not sure what the reach is. Conor Benn look a little bit wider than Eubanks, you know, but Eubanks already said that this pretty much gonna be a fat camp. He said he hasn't been active in the gym. And currently, when he made that video, he was like overweight, he was saying. But Conor Benn was like, listen up, I'm 3 weeks in. I don't want to hear no excuses, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, if I see a shot, I'm taking it. His name is the Destroyer. And I give Conor Benn a lot of credit, you know, with what he's doing. And I see how they're actually building him, you know. I mean, I see he's not standing on top of the mountaintop, you know, beating his chest like he King Kong, but he is calling out notable names, and he's getting those experienced fighters, and who knows how he'll fare with a Boots, you know, or a Virgil, you know, the guys we really want to see him. But I think that they are actually doing right. Eddie is actually doing right by him. I just question this fight. Now, the only thing that Chris Eubanks said that I wholeheartedly agree with, because I'm not going to get caught up into the hype, I'm thinking he's selling the fight. The only thing he said that actually made sense to me was this. He said he was in a lose-lose situation. Because if he wins, then they're going to say, oh, it was too soon. He wasn't ready. They're going to talk about the size difference, the weight difference. Even though he sent the offer, it's a catch weight at 157. And, you know, it's for a decent amount of money. And Conor Benn actually accepted to all the terms. So these were the terms that Chris Eubank and them drew up, and Conor Benn actually accepted it. So to say anything about weight, you're already disadvantaged. You're already saying this is a fat camp. You know, and if he wins, it's going to be like, oh, so what? He was small. You know, you outweighed him. You was taller than him. You had the longer reach. You know, all those excuses. If Conor Benn wins, his stock goes through the roof, especially over there. But what it also does is that physicality, or somebody that's bigger in stature, longer, stronger, maybe hit harder. If he can get you, especially if he can get Eubanks out of there. If he can get Eubanks out of there, it's going to make a statement. And that would actually let me believe that he might actually be serious about wanting some boot smoke. Something to think about. It's something to think about. So I do think that this is a lose-lose situation. And the way that Eubanks is coming into this fight, all lackluster and not training and saying he only need to be 60%, he just need to show up and he's gonna walk through Conor Benn. Not to mention he gotta cut that weight and he's already out of shape. So at this point in time, Conor Benn would have been in like what, 4 weeks in, and Eubanks would have been like a couple days. So this is something that's on my radar, man. I'm like, man, Eddie might got something brewing with this fight, man. This actually might be way more competitive. And if Eubanks go in there and he plays around with Conor Benn gonna get rid of him. Oh yeah, I'm not one of them people that's taking any credit away from Conor Benn right now. He's calling out the right names. Don't sound like he's being greedy. Don't sound like he's moving too fast or he's really trying to bite off more than he can chew. But if he can get this Chris Eubanks under, you know, this notch on his belt in this fight, one, he helps Eddie out. He makes Eddie look like a genius and not a fool, like right now, because I'm thinking, man, you know, this is classic Eddie, man. Classic Eddie. New dogs, old tricks. You know, but anyways, man, what do you think about this fight, man? Because I'm actually getting kind of built up about it. I actually think it's actually going to be a good fight. I think it's on October the 8th. And it's something I'll touch bases on more, and I'll start breaking down stylistic and everything. But right now, this is actually a 50-50 fight. And with the attitude that Chris Bank has, I'm actually leaning towards Conor Benn now, which is kind of crazy. Eubank could be selling us a bag of goods, but if you go in there with that slack, lackadaisical, it's going to be good night, Irene. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the likes, all the comments, all the new subscriptions here at BodyWork. We don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
All right. I believe you. But my tummy don't. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all.
You guys got outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so